There you go. So there's Dwayne. Dwayne's with us. And just while you're trying to save it, there we go. There we go. Great. We gotcha. Nice. Nice. Looks like you're having fun with this, Just Paul. I remember this was your portrait, right?
Yeah, this is the portrait. That I have 3 different portraits of myself.
Good. Good. Do you want to, Just Paul, do you want to explain a little bit of what you're doing over here with the masks?
Oh, I'm instead of just cutting out the image and then putting it in with a portrait, I feel like I'm gonna just erase the entire thing and then mask over it, like as I'm doing my work. So I'll erase the entire picture, and then I'll mask over whatever I want to put in. So it makes it a little bit easier and it looks a little bit like easier on the eyes. So it's not like more like geometric, and it's more like smooth.
Could you tell them how you created the black and white layer here? What you could do is, yeah, what I was going to say is you could use this as an example, the layer 1 on the very bottom. You could duplicate that and maybe just walk through that demonstration.
All right.
Yeah, duplicate it so we don't lose it. Good.
So all you gotta do is press this mask tool, this little square with a circle in it, or rectangle with a circle in it.
Right. Could you, before you do that, Just Paul, just Control Z.
Oh.
Yeah.
Control Z.
Yeah. Did it? Or yeah, that's it. Could you turn off all the other layers? There you go. Except for the one that you're working on. There you go. Okay, good. This way we can actually see what you're doing. Now go ahead and walk through how you did that.
All right. It's just press this little add mask layer, which is a rectangle with a circle in it. You press that. As you can see, I can't. So
So could you, right, okay.
It's not going off.
Yeah, I wonder why that is, right? Oh, you may have had your ants on. That's weird. Control D?
Control D.
Yeah.
Ah.
That might be what happened.
So that affected the actual layer, so it's gonna just stay like that's gonna be staying like that. But yeah. So you use your mask tool. It should come up like this if you don't have anything selected with the ants or whatever. And what you gotta do is instead of using the eraser tool, you use the brush tool. And I think it is wait, it's not doing it. Why isn't it doing anything? There we go. So it should come up with the brush tool, and then white is how you add to a layer for a mask, and then black is how you erase with the layer. So you can just erase with this. See, you can erase it, but it doesn't actually damage the picture because if you go to the white over here, it will just add back you erased.
Great. So I don't use that tool, so I wanted you to share it because it's really valuable so that people can see how you are using that mask. So what I do is I always duplicate and I just erase. I like my layers to be as they are. Could you sort of just paint like the headphones on again? So what's interesting is that it's the opposite of quick mask. So it paints with black like quick mask.
And then it creates a little outline over here.
Right, so then you see your black and white mask. And so now that means that he's erasing the mask so that you can put something behind it. So that the value of that, everyone, is that you can edit and change your mind. So that if you wanted to use it in a different way, you could be able to just go back to that mask and erase it or paint it. So that's really that's a really nice tool to be able to know, to be able to do that. And as you can see, it's right on the bottom. So you can actually paint that on there. And does that, so when you go back to the top one, where you have your full color portrait, the very top layer, so that's where you can see yourself come through that on there, which is great. Okay, so
You can see the entire.
I'm sorry. Yeah, turn the layers back on like the way you had it.
Oh, the way. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted you to demo that layer and so forth. So now we're just waiting for the preview. I guess probably, interesting enough, we don't see what we had before. Click another layer, Jaspal, for some reason. Click the top layer.
Yep.
There we go. Now we have it. Okay, good. Just a delay. So I like where you're going with this. I really like the multicolors that you have going on in the lower right-hand corner. Do you want to explain how you did that?
Oh, these are just. You mean this, or you mean
Yeah.
the brick?
Yeah.
Oh, these are wires that I just found royalty-free wires. Like you know how we had to find like royalty-free stuff. So I found wires, and then I just added it in to here because it made it look like connecting wires to like the bricks, how there's like real bricks and there's like charcoal kind of bricks.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I wanted to add that.
Good. Actually, you might want to use those wires for the photograph when we create our new brushes, because it could give you a nice effect on that. Definitely go to the video tutorials that walk you through how to create your own brushes, which is really good.
Yeah, there's also a lot you can download like for free online with the brushes. Like I have a bunch of just downloaded brushes over here.
Yeah. So that's, yeah, but we're gonna walk through how to create your own, which is great. And then this way you'll be able to see how to be able to create your own and so forth.
Yeah.
Now on you can close that brush window. So I want the only thing I have, and then I'm going to let other people make comments. I would cut out your eye in the shape of your eye versus, just making a solid hole.
Yeah.
So
All right.
you could do that right now. You would use your, was it white brush?
No.
Yeah, there you go. White to erase. Oh, to bring it back. Right. That's right. The black. There you go.
Hey,
Yeah, see? So that's great. That's right. Make it look like a real eye shape, a traditional eye shape on there. Great. And where else are you, what else are you going to be going with this? What else are you going to be doing?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't touched this in a little bit, but yeah, I know where I'm going from here.
Well, you know what I would do is I would create the canvas to be a little bit taller and more vertical versus horizontal.
It's cut.
In other words, make it become a vertical with canvas and give yourself some shoulders.
Shoulder? Yeah, it keeps cutting out. I only heard shoulder in that.
Yeah, I know the audio is not too good. So I'll repeat it again, that you want to maybe make it like a vertical. So if you go to canvas under image.
Oh, rotated vertical?
No, yeah, we're going to go canvas, right. Canvas, no. canvas.
Okay.
Click the icon on the top, the grid. You see the grid there?
This?
Yeah, click the top. And then give yourself about 13 inches on height. No, 15. Give yourself, 15 actually. And say okay. And zoom out. Okay, now, okay, good. Now you can bring in your shoulders like you have in the original picture.
Oh, like in this one. Yeah. All right.
Much better because you always, if you have a head, you want to see the sort of the shoulders holding it.
Yeah.
So that way you can begin to bring in your jacket and really make that become texturals, textures and things like that. I love the graffiti going into the mouth. And I think that you could bring the wall down, the brick wall as well.
Yeah. Put more wall behind like the shoulders and whatever.
Exactly. And in the area of the, if you zoom into the face again, when we get into painting, you can really get your whole face to have a little bit of a painterly texture. I think you know that painter visual effect under filter.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was using for this. And then,
Yeah, no, that's the filter gallery. I mean the, go under stylize, I think it is on the bottom. Yeah, stylize. Yeah, you see,
okay.
right. Now I think you probably don't have it. Let me see your mode.
It's because I was under my mask.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You'd have to go to your master document.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
you can't do any of the adjustments in mask.
right. So the thing, that's right. So the thing to remember, because you like using masks, is to always duplicate your master document. I mean, your master layers.
Yeah, like that with the oil paint.
Yeah, exactly. So that this way, so that way, and you can change that texture. And when you get to your own brush, you can do your own painting versus that filter effect.
Yeah.
So that's the fun thing about creating your own brushes, but it's coming along really nicely. I think I would get a nice set of dentures for your bottom lip.
Oh, wait, what?
Your dentures, your teeth on your bottom teeth.
Oh, it's good? Or
Your mouth.
what? I keep cutting out.
I know, it's like talking to someone in space. On your mouth, where your teeth are. You know where your teeth?
Yeah.
Your lower, right, exactly. Bringing real teeth in.
Put the teeth in?
Yeah, like real teeth, like a bottom, lower.
Oh, okay, yeah. That
Because
took a lot. I keep cutting out every like other word, so I
I
couldn't
know
hear.
it's like talking underwater.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's coming along really nicely though, Just Ball. I think it's great. Do you have any questions?
No, I think I'm good. I think I know where to go from here now.
Okay, good. You're on a good path, and I'm glad to share those tools with you because that's a nice way to create a mask where you can go back and paint, add it or subtract it.
Yeah.
Because you can also remember, you probably can have a little bit of a gray scale with an airbrush. You can paint with the airbrush.
Yeah.
Like you painted solid colors, you could use an airbrush, soft brush.
Yeah.
And that gives you the same effect.
Yeah, you can use any of the brushes that are like in the general brushes really to paint in like the mask.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I like the wires. I think you could do a lot with those wires as well, even more.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's unshare your screen. And let's see, Emmanuel.
Yep.
Could we share your screen?
Sure thing.
We've got Aaron coming on now.
Let's see. Can you see it?
Not yet. Let's see here. Probably take some time. Oh, here we go. It's going
Okay.
now. Okay, great. Now we have it. Okay, so tell us where you're going with this.
So where I'm going with this is I'm trying to take inspiration from the, oh my gosh, I forget his name already. One of the artists that recommended to us. I looked at his style. Actually, I think I have it somewhere in. Yeah, I have it here. Okay. Let me just hide.
Yeah, you can turn right. Picasso.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So what I was trying to go for blocky, like almost like a collage. So I'm using like THU records, and from there I was trying to build up like how to get the textures to look around the text, different colors. And I just to try and get this look, but if that,
So Emmanuel, can you put on the picture that you're working from? I think it's called layer background.
yeah, let me just.
Can you just, without the filters, let's just see that one background picture.
Oh, the top one.
No, the one above the reference.
Oh, the ref. Okay.
Turn everything else
Yes.
off. Yeah, turn everything else off. Okay. So this was done in the filter gallery, right?
Right.
And do you have the original source of that? It looks
I
like
believe
it's in,
so.
yeah, the background copy. There it is, right above. Up, further up. Is that it?
Let me see. Oh no, that's the
Different
filter I
color.
put over. I think I have it in my my file folder. Let me just pull it up real quick.
Yeah, it's good to make those duplicates from the, you know, once you start manipulating the images, it's very good to be sure you have a backup as a layer. This way you always have it as a reference, and you might want to utilize some more pictorial elements from it. So it's good to have those documents. What I usually do is I import all my assets, and then I select all of them and I duplicate them into a folder. And Photoshop does that really nicely. If you have all your layers selected and you create a folder, it will automatically put those selected layers into the folder for you. So that's a good production tool. So what Emmanuel has done here, and what I would like to say to him is, like, the upper right corner of the picture, that's a lot closer to his Picasso. And that's because the shapes are bigger and much more defined, where the other areas are so fragmented, which is a particular style. So I don't really know where he's going to go with this. But that's where you kind of want to use, sometimes on that, I think it's a cutout filter, get less shapes, and it will give you more distinctive highlights and contrast, you know, darks and lights, which are good. So Emmanuel, do you have that other one open?
The other one,
The original source?
are you asking?
The original source of that picture.
The back, right?
Right, the background, before you did the filter.
Oh, it's this one. The one I was.
Yeah, we can't see it. Can you turn it on?
Oh, okay. Just import.
You just go file open. You could do file open.
Oh, okay. Okay. This one. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So now what's interesting about this is it's a really interesting shape where you really could, if you go back to the Picasso, you could get this to be much more geometric versus fractal. Geometric meaning bigger shapes, because the way when you put the filter on it, it made it more fractal, more tiny, small shapes. And do you remember the path tool?
Yeah.
Right, so you can make very distinctive shapes on this. In fact, I'm gonna show you that. I'm just gonna copy on my own computer. I'll copy your picture. And let's go back to your other Cubist one. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's turn on all the layers now.
All of them?
Well, the ones that you feel are where you are, the stage that you were on, yeah. So that object, right, so you've got this other man coming in, right?
Yeah.
So, so that's another one where, you're using that Picasso as an example. The other thing too is the colors that you're using. Really make a distinction between those three elements. So the three elements you have are the foreground with the human figure, the big sort of three-dimensional sculpture, right? And then the background, right? I know it's hard to hear us.
Yeah, it's like the audio is kind of cutting in and out at times.
Right, right. So make a distinction between the three layers, the foreground, the middle ground, and the background.
Okay.
On that. What else were you thinking of doing?
So the process of making this, I made a discovery using, well, actually for this week that when I went to mess around with the modes, that the metal textures I used for this image over here actually looked a lot more like metal than it did before I had the filters on it. So
Right.
I thought that was an interesting thing.
Yeah, modes are really good. Absolutely. So it's coming along. So what I'd like to do is to, Emmanuel, to unshare your picture. And I'm going to walk through that path tool. So you can unshare.
Oh, unshare?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to unshare Emmanuel's screen. And then we're going to share mine. And I'm going to show you that path tool to be able to get more geometric shapes.
Okay.
So just, yeah, you can unshare.
Oh, so just pause share or?
Unshare.
Oh, unshare.
Might be on the bottom or the top.
I have everything towards the top. Oh, just. Yeah, this is like, this is my first time using Zoom, so I'm like.
You can look under
all
view
this. I'm just trying to find.
options. You can stop here. I did it. I can actually do it, I think. There we go.
Okay.
We're good. Okay, great. So let me share mine. And where's my Photoshop? It's not showing my Photoshop one. Oh, that's okay. Just turn my Photoshop on. So can everybody see my Photoshop?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to open up Emmanuel's picture because I captured it. So let me get that. It's on desktop. So we have about 10 minutes left. Let me get this for us. So Emmanuel, this is your original picture.
Yes.
So all I'm showing everyone is the path tool. And here's the path tool. And the path tool is often where the layers are. And then the channels as well. So I'm just bringing this over. So the context of what you said as far as Picasso, if we just, let me just jump to Picasso for a second. If we went to Picasso's Three Musicians, I want you to clearly see that these are very distinctive shapes. I mean, literally, you could say the entire thing was built with the polygonal tool, right?
Right.
Creating the polygonal, you could get the marching ants where you want them to be, or you could create your shapes as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing when I'm over here in Photoshop. If you wanted to get that feel like the environment of his cafe, you could use the path tool like this. So the path tool uses the pen tool. And I'm just going to plot certain shapes. Just be able to get something like this around to come down. And then of course you see I'm going to the beginning tool. And as we all remember from this tool, this is a very important tool. This is what we call a vector tool. And this vector tool will make straight lines become curved lines. So you know how I always say Illustrator photographers fix it in Photoshop? Well, people who draw fix it in a vector tool like Illustrator or using this pen tool. So then once you have that, you can turn it into marching ants. And then you can make another one for the inside. But the point to be made is that what you're trying to do is to assemble the 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes that would be solid, and then you would have another shape that would be the roller coaster that would go down, you know, on top of the shape. So if I colored this, gave this a color, and again, of course, a layer has to be created, so I'll make another layer, and I'll just fill it with blue. Obviously, you could go darker if you want, and so forth. Let me just get this up here. Whoa, there's my zoom tool. And again, I can just leave that as so. I can turn that off. And you can also use your mask, don't forget. You don't have to always use the pen tool. You could use this tool, the quick mask, use the brush. Now this is very similar to what Jess Paul used. And I could come around here, I'm using my brackets now, and I could create that slope like this. And that can become another shape, and if I unselect it, you see it's on the outside, which would take care of the outside, but I want to paint the inside, so of course I inverse it. Now the marching ants are here. I can make another layer. When in doubt, always make another layer. I could change the color maybe to a lighter blue, and I could come over here and I can fill it. And Control D, get rid of those marching ants. And now you see we're beginning to make shapes similar to what we were talking about when you're trying to work with a composition like this. So he was very, you know, very well aware of every particular shape that is in this composition. So that's just something, Emmanuel, that you can be, and then you can go to this one and create it. Now, if I wanted this to be smoother, I could either do it with the pen tool. Now remember, the pen tool was this. So if I wanted to use that pen tool, let's do that line again with the actual pen. Where is that pen tool? Here we are, right down to the convert, mouse down, there it is. I could click this and then escape, and now I'm in my path again. And let's make another working path. So now I have a path. I can then take my brush and let me get on a layer. I'm not on a layer. That's why it's saying it's not available. So let me get on a layer. I'm on a layer now. I'm on the path. I've loaded up my brush. I can go a little bit bigger on that brush. And now when I say stroke path with brush, it's going to follow that. Let me just smooth that out a little bit on those curves. So now I have a nice smooth curve, and I can go back to the path using my brush. And now the brush is going to travel along this path because my hand was too wiggly. I don't have my stylus on right now. And so now I'll come over here. What layer? Check your layers. I'm on a new layer. That's all good. And now I'm going to stroke the path. So that path is a lot better in using it. And you can also move it around. Let's take the path off, deselect it. And now I can actually come over here and I can move this path. And you can also distort it, obviously, and do different things that you want to do with it. But the point that I'm making, Emmanuel, is that if this is your inspiration, you really want to plot out the distinctive styles, the distinctive shapes of your picture, so that if you start building all of these up, we clearly see a roller coaster. And that comment was for you, Emmanuel. Do you see where I was going with you? I take that, is that, we drop in and out on sound. So do you see what I was saying as far as using this as your shapes on that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. And so, because I know you have that great big monumental piece, which is good.
The house moving castle.
Right. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And looks like we only have 2 minutes left. Leela, are you still with us? I know the sound is off.
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you want to share your screen?
Sure.
Okay. So while Leila shares her screen, we're going to come back at, I believe it is 4:30. We're going to work for another, it's 3:45. We're going to work to 4:30. And then we'll come back and we'll just kind of wrap up and talk about what we want to work on for the week. And Richard, it would be great for you to get the Adobe downloaded so we can share your screen as well. So Lila, you want to, let's see. Okay, great. Nice. Your precious little puppy. You've got to put him on screen for us so we can see him.
No, I should. Maybe later.
Okay, maybe another session. So tell me some of your questions. Any questions, Lynn?
Cut off. Sorry.
Any questions that you have, or?
So was with I do the gradient color is transparent.
How to make it like that?
Yeah, so that like I add some color, but then like some of the gradient is just see-through.
Okay, great.